Hello and welcome to the session 1 of Mechanical Workshop Carpentry Job 1 and 2. Let us study about Introduction to Carpentry Work. Carpentry is the shop. Carpentry is the process of shaping timber using hand tools. The products produced are used in building constructions such as doors and windows, furniture, manufacturing, patterns for molding in foundries, etc. Carpentry work mainly involves the joining together of wooden pieces and finishing the surfaces after shaping them. A student studying the fundamentals of woodworking has to know about timber and other carpentry materials, woodworking tools, carpentry operations, and the method of making common types of joints. Now let's see about the materials used in carpentry. Basic materials used in carpentry shop are timber and plywood. Auxiliary material used are nails, screws, adhesives, paints, varnishes, etc. Timber is the name given to the wood obtained from exogenous or outward growing trees. In this figure we can see the various elements of cross section of wood. In these trees the growth is outward from the center by adding almost concentric layers of fresh wood every year known as annual rings. After the full growth, these trees are cut and sawed, converted into rectangular sections of various sizes for engineering purposes. Now let's see about types of timber. First type is log. This is the trunk of the dye tree, which is tree from branches. Next is the bulk. This is the log after sawing roughly to the square cross sections or rectangular sections. Next is deal. This is the log after sawing into rectangular cross sections of width about 2 to 5 mm and thickness up to 100 mm. Next one is the plank. This is the timber piece having width more than 275 mm and thickness from 50 to 150 mm. Next one is the board. This is the timber piece 50 mm in thickness and above 125 in the width. Batten is the timber piece below 175 mm in width and thickness between 30 to 50 mm. The last is the scantings. These are the timber pieces of various assorted and non-standard sizes other than the types of given above. Now the classification of wood. Woods can be classified as softwood, hardwood, exogenous or outward growing, and endogenous or inward growing. Softwoods cannot resist stresses developed across the fibers, hence not suitable for woodworking. For example, kale, pine, deodar, cher, walnut, etc. Next is hardwood. In this type of wood, the annual rings are compact and thin. Hardwoods are nearly equally strong both along and across the fibers. Next is the exogenous and outward growing trees. Examples are sal, teak, rosewood, sandalwood, oak, beech, ash, ebony, mango, neem, babul, etc. The last is the endogenous or inward growing trees like bamboo and coconut. Now let's talk about wood seasoning. Seasoning of wood carried out for removing the sap and reducing the moisture contents. The presence of sap and moisture will render the wood unsuitable for engineering works due to uneven shrinkage, crack, wrapping and decay. Different methods of seasoning. The seasoning can be performed by air seasoning or natural seasoning, water seasoning, electrical seasoning and kiln seasoning. Now the plywood. Thick sheet formed by pasting veneers of wood is called ply. 3 or more plies joined by glues is called plywood. The grains of adjacent layers are kept at right angle to each other in order to get better strengthening. Both directions, the outer layer, are called facing plies. Good hardwood veneers are used for inner ones are called core plies. Low quality wood is used for plywood. Is made by either cold pressing or hot pressing. In this figure we can see the various directions of veneers in the cross section of plywood. Now let's see the various tools used for woodworking. The principal hand tools used in a carpentry workshop can be classified into marking tool and measuring tools, cutting tools, planing tools, boring tools, striking tools and holding tools. In the next section we will see in detail about all these tools. That's all for this session. Have a nice day.